On, Journey. Hey guys, well, welcome back to another Hunting Grounds vlog. I've absolutely loved making these summer management series. Every single week I'm cranking out at least one, if not two videos per week, showing you guys exactly what I'm doing on my hunting grounds. You guys have been so great on interacting and viewing these things that I'm trying to crank out as many as I can every single week. You guys have even been suggesting a whole lot of videos. One of the videos you guys have suggested is, hey Steve, do you mind showing your trail camera setups, how you got them set up, how you got them programmed, and whatnot. So today on this vlog, I'm going to show you my current trail cam setup here on the hunting grounds during the summer months, and I'll give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing to change that up a little bit, getting ready for deer season coming up. So I've got a whole lot of information for you coming right up. Well, I'm currently situated in one of my large clover plots. You can see right here I've got a mineral station. This is a new mineral station, and I've got a trail camera set up right here. Now, the reason I set up this mineral station is right now you'll notice that I've got all my trail cameras located over food sources. Deer, that's what they're patterned on doing right now. They're going from bedding to food, bedding to food. So I've got majority of my cameras all on my food sources, trying to just capture as many different deer as I can here, just to kind of see the bucks that I've got growing up, how my fawns are doing and everything there. And as you can tell, anywhere that I can, that I've got a food source, a water source, or something like that, and I can combine a mineral site with that, that just gives it the double attraction in there. So I'm not the kind of guy that just says, hey, I need one mineral site per 100 acres. Like I said, anywhere that I've got a food plot or a water source or both or vice versa, and I can combine it with a mineral site, that's just added ammo in that area. As you can see, I've got my hunting blind right back here. So what this is gonna do is I'm gonna pull in a lot of deer to this clover plot, that's for sure. They're always in here, but they won't be milling around and never stopping. Well, if they come to the mineral site and stop long enough, that's gonna give me the opportunity that I need to take that shot. Plus, because they're always milling through and just browsing through this food plot, also brings them to a certain point in my clover plot where I know I'm going to capture them on camera. And as you can tell, I've got my trail camera there facing right on it, and I'm assured going to get a great shot of that buck or doe or turkey poults or coons or coyotes. Everything comes into that area. Now, I will tell you, not everybody's going to be able to put a mineral site out there. Be sure you know your state laws, and if you can, put mineral sites or attractants and stuff out there on your property. But here on the hunting grounds, we definitely can. Come on, Jerry, let's go. Let's go to the next site. Get up there. Well, as you can tell, I'm in a different food plot now. This is the area that I call the staging plot. I've got a nice pond dam right back here, and this food plot, it's a clover field, and you can tell it's surrounded by trees all the way around. And the thing is, the deer really like to come in here a little earlier in the evenings, or they like to kind of slow down in the mornings as they go back to bed. Now, we're only a few hundred yards away from where we just were up in the big clover fields in our destination clover fields. But this has always served to be a really, really good stand to hunt, and a really, really good area to make sure I get some great photos from our trail camera. So I've got another mineral site here. Like I said, anytime you can combine a mineral site with a food source or around a water site, that's just going to give you that 1-2 punch, and just going to make sure that you're going to get as many photos, and it's going to make that area as attractive as possible. So the way I've got this camera set up is the main corridor for the deer to travel through is to go right up and down through here. It's just on the side of this pond dam. So if the deer are going to skirt through here, and even if they aren't going to browse or stop at the mineral site, I'm still going to capture them on camera through here. But if they do mill through here, slowly eating this clover, I'm still going to capture them on camera. if they come up and they hit the mineral site right here, I am for sure guaranteed gonna get some great shots of them. So setting up this trail camera in this plot's a little bit different than the other food plot. In the other food plot, I'm trying to pull the deer to one specific location. This way that I've got it set up here is I already know how they travel, so I'm gonna capture them anyway. But if I can bring them in, get a nice up close and beautiful photo shot of them, I'm going to do it. So great area. This is just a really high traffic area for turkeys and coyotes. I usually get a ton of turkeys come through here. Deer come through here really heavily. It's just a really nice, heavily used, easy corridor for game of any kind. They like to work around that pond dam that you can see right back there, and they come right up through here, and then I usually lure about everything into this mineral site. So we're going to check this camera, see what we got on it, and then we're going to go about 3 ridges over to what I call Big Buck Ridge. So we are now 3 ridges over from where we just were. This is Big Buck Ridge, and this is our kill plot. Now this kill plot is a different kind of food plot than the other food plots you've seen. It's not that large, and it's not meant to sustain the deer herd throughout the full year. It can benefit them, yes, but it's made and designed to bring the deer in, to slow them down, to browse long enough to get me a good kill shot. And one thing you probably can't see in this screen is I've got a double set of tree stands hung right back there in the back, overlooking this highly trafficked area. So I got a trail camera overlooking this food plot, and you never know what you're going to capture on this camera. On this food plot, once again, I do have the food plot, but I've also got a mineral site right here cut in, as you can tell, to the top of the stump. It absorbs into the stump. The deer like to eat out the stump instead of just pouring into the soil and having it leach out through the soil and the deer digging it up and creating a bunch of rocks. You can tell they do dig around the stump, but for the majority of it, it's all absorbed in that stump, and they lick and eat the stump until it's almost gone. So I named this ridge Big Buck Ridge because I started seeing my biggest bucks on here. And after checking this camera here, the bucks that we were seeing up in the top clover fields that were 3 ridges over, so probably a quarter to half mile as a crow flies away, they are right in here in this food plot during the daytime. So that's a great opportunity right there. This is a camera. All these camera stations that I have currently set up, I want to leave set up throughout the hunting season. And right there, that's going to tell me that if I want to be hunting during the middle of the day or early part of the day, or want some kind of big buck activity while I'm in the tree stand, this is probably going to be one of the stands I want to hit, especially early on in the hunting season. I'm probably not going to want to be set up over the clover field where they're only coming in at night, but right here, having a couple cameras set up on different spots of my property is going to tell me right then and there that, hey, this is the area that I want to be. I want to be set right up there in those tree stands and hopefully catch that big buck in daylight hours when I've got my bow or gun in hand. So I'm going to set this camera back up. Got some great photos on it. It's already telling me a whole lot of information, and we're going to travel to the very south part of my property and take a look at some more food plots and some more trail camera setups. Are you ready? Are you enjoying this? She loves riding around in here. Much better than running, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. You ready to go? Start her up. Nah. So I have made it to the very southernmost food plots here on my property. And this one's looking great. It's got buckwheat, soybean, sunflower, and cowpeas in it, and it's looking awesome. As you can tell, I'm definitely going to be spending some time right there in that soft side blind. So now I'm over here in our clover plots, and they're looking good. Just recently mowed them. One thing I want to tell you guys is there's going to be people out there that say you only need 1 trail camera per 100 acres, whatever it may be. I'm just going to tell you, for small property, that's something I would definitely not suggest. I wouldn't even suggest that for even 100 acres. I've got 91 acres here, and as my property stretches from one point to another, it's pretty slender, but it's pretty long. It stretches almost a mile long. Now, I've pretty much figured out that the deer on this property, there's about 3 home ranges of deer that come in to this property. I have the southern deer, sounds bad, but I got the southern deer that come in from the south. They hit on these food plots and come into my property, and when they go back to bedding, they go south. Then on the very north side, I've got those northern deer that stay up there on the north side of the property that come in, they feed, they go back in. And then as you get even more west of Big Buck Ridge, I have one more ridge over there that I get another home range in there. And if I go over to that ridge and put a trail camera up during hunting season, I'll get pictures of bucks that I've never had, even on the northern section of my property or the southern section. It's just like they come in, and I have a little bit of a home range in there that they like to come into. So definitely don't just put up one trail camera on your piece of property and think that you're going to get every single deer on camera. Now when it comes to hunting season, I'll tell you, I've got these cameras set up where I've got them now, and they'll stay there all year long. But even though I've got a camera set up right here overlooking that mineral site that you can see, I'll have another camera just in the corner back there of that soft side blind set up, because I'll have deer that come into these food plots, and they come in from different sides of my property. And they'll come in, they'll feed in on that corner of that food plot and never circle around to come in here to get a picture of them. So when it comes to hunting season, I don't think you can really have too many trail cameras up. Now you want to be careful on how you place them, because you don't want to place them in areas that you're going to be going in and disturbing and bumping deer out of all the time. I like to put mine on a lot of edges, on mineral sites, stuff that's like, as you can tell, I have a driveway that goes down through the middle here. It's very easy for me to go down the driveway and just stop for a second, get out, quickly run and check that camera without disturbing the area very much. But as you can tell, we're on another mineral site location. This is one that's been here for a long time that the deer have definitely dug out. And got another trail camera set up here. And this one is primarily just overlooking this mineral site. It catches probably the most pictures of any camera here on the property, because this is the most heavily used food plot. The nice thing is that it's got 2 old logging roads right here behind it where the deer filter out. So even if they don't come up and hit here, they're getting caught right there in the background all the time. I get a lot of bobcats and coyotes and everything else that are just using that as a game trail. They get caught on the camera that never even come up here. So again, that's just another way, if you are careful on how you position your trail cameras, it can make sure that you're really going to capture a whole lot more on your cameras. So real quick, I want to talk about programming your cameras and the way I've got my cameras programmed right now at this time. So because I am bringing the deer into a destination such as this mineral site or the food plot, they're going to be there, and they're going to be there for a while. So how I like to program my cameras during the summertime, when you're trying to pull in deer to a specific area, they're coming in directly to your mineral sites or to your food plots, it's a destination area, and it's an area that they're probably going to stay in for quite a while. It's not setting up your camera on a deer trail and trying to capture them as they're running past or walking past. So what I like to do is, on my trail cameras, I like to go in, I like to go ahead and slow down how fast it redetects. So I'll usually knock it back to 3 to 5 minutes depending on how heavily the deer come in there and how long they stay in there. And I'll even knock it down to 1 to 2 photos in that given time. That way I don't have 200 photos of a doe coming into a mineral site. If you like a lot of photos like that, then that's for you. But I usually have somewhere around 5 to 10 cameras to check on my property, and I don't want to filter through thousands of photos of just the same deer over and over and over. So now when deer season comes around and I'm putting these things up all over the place, I want to make sure they're capturing anything and everything, because it might have a doe come in and a buck come in real quick and bump that doe off. If you don't have it where it's going to take multiple pictures or redetect pretty quick, then odds are you're going to miss that shot. Especially if I'm going, like I talked about earlier, over to the very far hillside past Big Buck Ridge. The only way that I can set up a trail camera over there is if I set it up on a trail. Now over there, I'll set it up on the trail. I'm probably going to do a 3-shot burst, and I want to have it reset and redetect as quick as possible. So probably a minute or less, I'm going to get it to redetect, just in case there's another buck trailing up or a doe triggers it and then the buck is chasing up that doe afterwards. So there's a whole lot of different ways that you can program these cameras to make sure you capture what you're wanting to and not have to fill your cameras full of unwanted pictures. So during this time of year, I still have my trail cameras out. I'm getting a lot of photos, but I try to make sure I have quality versus quantity. And then later on, as we get into deer season, I will increase my quantity to make sure I have some quality shots in there of every single buck on this property. All right, so there is one other use of a trail camera that I use my trail cameras for heavily, and I've decided to show you guys this one here because it's not going to give too much away. But this one, if you can tell, is actually facing down my driveway here. They're great surveillance tools, whether you're just putting them up to watch your driveway, watch your house while you're gone. Maybe it's an entry gate to your property. You can do a whole lot of things with these trail cameras. And the way I've got this one mounted up here gives you some options when it comes to mounting these trail cameras. As you can see, it's on a tree that's normally not that great for putting up a trail camera, but these things can be awesome. I didn't show you because I do have them scattered throughout my entire property, but I do have multiple trail cameras about 20 feet up in random trees throughout the property. There might be entry points, there might be areas where creeks come into my property where people are prone to trespassing, but you can put these about 20 feet up a tree, face them downwards. At that point, they're out of the eyesight of anybody that's trespassing coming in. They would definitely have to look up. Now with the majority of cameras having infrared and the blackout modes, it's not going to shoot off any kind of visible light that's going to detect them, so they would have to be vigilant and be looking up. And so you can really hide these things too and really survey your property to make sure you aren't getting any trespassers. And at the same time, I've been known to pick up some really good deer on the property that I never knew were on the property until I caught them on some of my surveillance cameras. So that's just another useful tool for the trail cameras. You guys have been suggesting a whole lot of videos out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The hunting grounds is coming together. As you can tell, our summer plots are doing great. Some of them are struggling just a little bit, but we're going to catch you guys up to date on some of those because some deer browse in some parts of the property is pretty heavy this time of year, a lot more than it was even last year. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other video suggestions that you'd like me to do, be sure to comment down below. Also, if you've used your trail cameras in another way than I have even on my property or have some great tips, be sure to comment down below because we can all learn from each other there. I've got a lot more work to do, a lot more work to show you guys, so stay tuned in. Make sure you guys subscribe to our videos, give a thumbs up, comment down below, and guys, until next time, have a better than average day. Won't you